crap at the weekend against the full-strength Crystal Palace A team. That will not be good. And part of that has to do with like Bruno, Rashford. How do you fit him in? Does that like take some energy out of the middle of the park? Because we have a lot of players who could do a job. And so the manager has lots of questions that he has to answer with this 11. But he's going to be judged on the results. And we've seen it before. You have the low. Is this the dead cat bounce? Or are we really bouncing off the floor? Is this where we're going to launch an attack? We're going to add up tons of points and correct this tough run of form that we've had. What do you think, sir?
No, I mean, it's a really good point because this season, this has been early in and it didn't start well. It's been one step forward, two steps back, mainly in matches, right? We've done some good stuff and then quickly conceded after scoring a good goal or almost having a good goal and then having it overturned by VAR. This is about, we're playing the same team, right? You're like you said, they're going to play a stronger 11 on the weekend. Old man Hodgson, he's learning a thing or two, so they're going to be better. They can't be worse than they were today. They had no possession. They had a couple chances in the second half. Onana did well when United was snoozing or gave the ball away. They're going to be better on the weekend. Obviously, we have better players that can come in the form of Bruno, Rashford, and the like. But now he's fleet for choice. He's got all these options. I don't know who you start. Do you start Eriksen? He's had a rest. He's ready to go. You just play Casemiro. Do you play Amrabat? Do you play Mount? It's like you have... now it's actually going to get difficult because before it was like just cobbling together a starting 11 that can play. Now players are coming back from the fold.
Quick PSA for the podcast. If you like the American Red Devils and you like the Muppet Take, we're going to be here all season. Every single match. There are almost 500 episodes of this podcast. And you know what? We don't have any sponsors. We're 100% backed by you, the fans. Thank you for everyone who signed up for our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/American Red Devils. Please check it out. You get an extra episode every single month, plus tons of other benefits. Goes a long way to keeping the lights on and keeping this for fans, by fans operation alive. So we really believe in you, the fans. So support us back. It goes a long way. If Patreon's not your thing, check out AmericanRedDevils.store. We just got our new Erik ten Hag's Red Army scarves in. The factory in Portugal had some issues, so they were delayed, but they're here. This commemorates our EFL Cup win, our 6th EFL Cup under our new manager, Erik ten Hag. Please check it out, AmericanRedDevils.store. If you enter the code EFL Cup, you get $5 off the scarf. Go get them while they are available. There's only a limited quantity. We only make one batch a season. Go pick it up. Support the podcast. Also, check out our website, AmericanRedDevils.com. Sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
So those scarves, I think they're going to fly off the shelves. We already sold our first one even before you mentioned that we have them. Pick them up. I think we start winning games. Erik ten Hag scarf is going to be a seller. Another great way to support the pod is writing 5-star reviews. We've gotten some terrific ones in recently. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And we're doing a free giveaway. We're giving away free American Red Devil design scarves anywhere in the world.
American Red Devil.
You got it, baby. Anywhere in the world, all you have to do is write a 5-star review wherever you listen, ideally on iTunes or Spotify, and send a screenshot of that review to AmericanRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will personally pick, pack, and ship a free ARD scarf. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great one from Ja. 2928, an absolute gem of a listen. I've been listening for years and absolutely love this show. Shout out. Every episode is a must listen for me. The recaps, the previews, the Muppet punditry, as well as some good history of the club at times. The podcast has it all. Thank you to a fellow American Red Devil from Miami. Thank you, Ja. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone writing those 5-star reviews. We couldn't do without you. We're in the bunker together. It's a little hot. Indian summer.
I'm literally sweating
in
here.
NorCal.
But just to clarify, the scarf giveaway is for the Glazers Out scarf. You can't get the scarf giveaway for the new Erik ten Hag scarf. You're going to have to part with some cold hard cash for that one. Just clarifying the giveaway, sir.
It's actually, football is nothing without fans at the moment. As the guy who's the Amazon warehouse, I'm just keeping people abreast of what the situation is. Glazers Out scarf is too hot of a commodity, sir. Those are flying out the door.
All right, let's get into it, sir. We have a match to break down here. I'll win to that. All right, let's get into it. Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 0, clean sheet, EFL Cup third round. Let's get into that lineup. We had Onana in net, Delo, Magoo, Varane, and Amrabat left back. Really? That's what we came out with. Casemiro, Mejbri, Mount midfield with Palestri on the right, Garnacho on the left, and Tony Martial up top. How are you feeling when you saw this 11?
You know what? I was more focused in the weekend. I knew the players needed rest. You know, if you're going to pick one between the two, I think it's more important we pick up wins in the league and move up that table. So I wanted this to be a rotation. I wanted the front three to totally be changed. I wanted Rashford to get a rest, Højlund to get a rest. I wanted Bruno to get a rest, and I wanted Cass to get a rest, which he did not. But it was good to see, you know, Facundo on one wing, Garnacho on the other. I've wanted to see that for a while. I think a lot of fans have. Amrabat getting his first real start. Mount back in the fold, and then a lot of changes which were just needed because, you know, that back four has been run ragged. Delo, he's playing. But I was excited about the rotation because I was like, we need to try something new. We need to put some pressure on these other players to step up, and I think today was a perfect way to do it.
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about Martial. I wasn't too thrilled about playing Amrabat out of position. I did like the wing. I like putting the kids on the wing, all about that. Maybe Amrabat, Casemiro, and Mason Mount in the midfield, drop Mejbri, and put in Reguilon. Something like a little more stability, but obviously Crystal Palace a lot of rotation. So I think, like you said, hey, the manager aced the test 3-0. I can't complain, but I was a little nervous. First half, United come out dominant, time on the ball. I think the first 15 minutes it was all United in their half. It was slow but controlled, not really brave. I thought we could have upped the tempo, tried to break their lines, but we didn't have to worry, sir. 21st minute, we would get after it.
Palestri, nicely done. Across goal, looking for the finish and finding it. It's in from Garnacho, and Manchester United take the lead. And Sam Johnston, who's only been on the pitch for around about a minute in the Palace goal, is beaten. Good ball to Palestri.
I mean, we're talking patterns of play. We had the ball in their third, moving it around. Great cross pass. Palestri does well to bring it down, gives it to Delo, who's making the dart run. And then the pullback. Why don't we score pullback goals? Everyone seems to dunk them on us. Love this goal from Manchester United. Full team goal. Everyone touched the ball. Let's go.
And that's what we want to see, right? It's not just about clean sheet. It's not just about possession and controlling the game. It's also about style of play. Attractive football, attacking football, and with all these changes being made and some of the kids getting a shout, we saw a lot of those things. So it wasn't just the things we talked about on paper. That was a good goal. Nice goal from Garnacho. I think he needs a little boost in confidence. He didn't have the best start to the season after how good he was last year. But let's keep it going. 24th minute, nice chance for United on the break. Delo smacks her right at the keeper instead of playing a man in. And then it was coming thick and fast at this point. 26th minute, great chance for Facundo as Mount plays him in. But he couldn't quite settle his feet, and the defender kind of came in late and put a tackle in. Should have been a goal here. Really great pass from Mount. Speaking of Mason Mount, his first contribution from the goals and assists in the 27th minute from the corner. Here we go.
Carabao Cup.
In goes the corner, 2-0. Casemiro, his fourth goal of the season. Well, incomprehensible.
That's our leading scorer for Manchester United, Casemiro. That's right. What a goal. What a cross from Mason Mount. You'll love to see him get on the sheet, and look, in South America, they're not afraid to head the ball like they are in England, you know?
He's a dog. You know what? The worst thing about the EFL Cup, at least in the United States, is that you have to watch it on ESPN FC. They're fucking terrible. They're terrible. They've been terrible forever, and they were the first crew that we got exposed to. Well, at least I did. You too, sir. I'm sure.
No, Fox Soccer.
Fox Soccer too.
That was way back in the day.
They were they were more forgettable. But ESPN FC, Craig Burley, the most miserable son of a bitch you'd ever meet. He went into this game bashing Casemiro. Guy's past his prime, no legs left, nobody.
There's a few guys like him.
No, they
like,
bring up. They're literally trolls.
Albon Lahore.
Totally.
They're all the trolls.
They
right?
were ahead of it. They were even before Talk Sport putting trolls on.
I know, but you take the bait.
But Casemiro,
you're such a
making him eat his words.
How's it
goal
make you feel?
And an assist. he has to live in Bristol, Connecticut, so I'm good. But Casemiro with a great goal, and 2-0. United are rolling.
Never change. You always take the bait from the trolls, gets you so fired
help
up,
it, son. I
all
can't
the
help it.
time.
You know
Like,
me.
let's go. Second half, more of the same from United. Dominant performance. Look, this is more like it. We're playing at home. Crystal Palace packing it in. We're scoring goals. Sub Lindelof for Mason Mount. Apparently this was planned. He only had a half of fitness in him, but man, he ran around. It looked really dangerous. Made a huge impact on this start. It's what we want to see from Mason Mount. Didn't have to wait long for number 3, 55th minute.
Garnacho is in the middle, so is Hannibal. It's cleared away to Casemiro. That's a good ball, and Martial makes it 3 with a very, very tidy half-volleyed finish from a tight angle. And Manchester United will surely be heading through to the fourth
Great pass
round
from
of the-
Casemiro. Great finish from Tony Martial. Look, sir, I do recall saying it's going to take Casemiro a little while to get up to fitness. When he's playing well, we're going to look good. And, man, he's pulling the strings for Manchester United, and we do look a lot better when he's in form.
100%. One of our most important players last season, when he was unavailable, United dropped off. We saw that in that January, February time period when the title, as you like to talk about it, slipped away. He looked unbelievable today. Not just his goal, not just the assists. He was all over the pitch. I think the athleticism and work rate of the other midfielders helped him. I think Amrabat and Mount and Hannibal, it took some of the pressure off of him as well. And the fact that United just dominated possession. But what a player he is, coming into form, hopefully, right when United needs it, with a lot of games coming. Good opportunity for us to pick up points both in the league and also make moves in the group stage of the Champions League, which is back next weekend. And how about Tony Martial? We're critical of the lad, but nice goal, nice finish from him. I was thinking about it last night lying in bed, sir. I was like, it'd be very Tony Martial in the last year of his contract to cobble together something decent season, and then the numpties in our front office just give him a new 5-year contract instead of buying a young striker, who can play 40 games a year.
How dare you put something like that out into the universe? Regardless, I've always said it here on the podcast. He gets a lot of stick from fans, but he has an effective goal scoring rate per the minutes he plays. The main issue with Tony Martial is he doesn't stay healthy, and when we only have 2 9s, and you saw Højlund with all the tape and the cupping on the back, it's not a good sign when you got 2 guys that are. At the end of the day, it's like he just isn't available. So when he is available, he usually scores. So today, not a surprise, he does it. There is a lot of haterade out there for him, but he is effective at number 9 when he's healthy. 60th minute, double sub Gore and Evans for Amrabat and Varane. Love Gore coming in here. Johnny Evans, how you doing? After that, I'm going to say my man of the match performance at the weekend. 68th minute, night save for Onana. This one looked like we were sleeping a little bit. Onana with a strong hand. 70th minute sub Donny. Who are you? For Hannibal. Look, he's Dutch. The Dutch manager's going to get the Dutch in there. That's just the way they're going to go.
He didn't do much.
He didn't do anything. 71st minute, Evans, nice header from a corner, saved well. He almost had a goal. Come on, Johnny. And 75th sub, Højlund for Martial. This is how it goes. You get 3-0, make a bunch of changes. Everyone can just relax. Get some Nando's, go home, get some rest. 85th minute, nice save from Onana. United exposed a bit. And 89th, Garnacho stings it first time, top corner. Makes the keeper have a save. But Garnacho, late in the game, looking dangerous. What a game for Garnacho. And he got a shout out. A start and a full 90 from him, looking very dangerous on the left-hand side for Manchester United. You need it. You love to see it.
100%. We need players stepping up, right? We've lost 2 wingers on the right side. Obviously, Garnacho's a player who favors the left. He's not going to start ahead of Rashford anytime soon, especially with Højlund as our de facto number 9. But I have a feeling Garnacho could do a job on the right. Obviously, big holes with Anthony, Sancho out. Garnacho, his turn to step up. And Facundo, he had a quieter game, but he tracked back well. He did the work. He had some good runs. He obviously didn't get a goal, but his link up was pretty decent. And for the guy who hasn't gotten a ton of minutes, I think we have to give some time to acclimate back to the top tier. So, dude, a great day. What's not to like? Obviously,
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Manchester
clean
United.
sheet.
And the
good
stat
goals,
sheet.
and some good football, dude.
13 shots to their 4, 7 on target to their 2, 69% of the ball to their 31%.
Those passes.
775 passes at OT, 90% pass accuracy. That is what you want to see. 6 corners there, none. dominant performance from Manchester United. Looked good, dominated the stat sheet, 3-0. EFL Cup, baby. We're back. Let's go. But at the end of the day, you get high after a result like this. You get low after Brighton and Bayern Munich. It's a long season. So it's all about the next match. It's all about grinding out these lower opposition results in the league. And you think Crystal Palace is going to be snoozing at the weekend?
No way.
You're out of your goddamn mind. So everyone's saying everything's great at Manchester United. You got how many days? Four days until you got to actually show up for work again. And the manager's going to have to make a lot of changes. Think about this team. Think about the wet noodling we've done. I didn't see any wet noodling here.
Nope.
Everything went our way, though. But it looks like we found some dogs in this team, and the manager is going to have to make sure the dog to wet noodle ratio is good on Saturday because, you know, there have been some players, some big names from Manchester United that have kind of lowered their heads, not put in shifts. And how is he going to deal with that? Because I'd rather have the dogs that we saw today out there. And that's going to be a big call for him to make.
No, it's a good point. I think that's a reason you saw Hannibal play again and no Scott McTominay nowhere to be found, right? And Donny van de Beek was next man up because obviously McTominay had that infamous walk back, which everybody was talking about in the last week. But this is the challenge, right? You boss a team at home, a league team, right? A team that's in the Premier League that you're playing on the weekend. And the stakes are totally different. And he's going to have more options in terms of players he can play, players that play well this week. And now this is when it gets tricky because we got to dominate them at home and keep the momentum going because winning's infectious, but also good football is infectious. And if you have a drop off, it ruins all the good work you've done.
Well, what do we know? Let's check in with the main man, Erik ten Hag.
Any better? Oh, I don't know, but it was a good night, definitely.
It looked more like the kind of team we wanted, the control and possession with Mount and Amrabat in particular. We looked to have control of the game right from the start.
Well, I think it's the truth. Yeah, we dominated the game, and I think we had some good attacks. We control in possession, and we created the chances, and we score a great goal.
James.
What do you think that game, and I suppose the Burnley one before it as well, will do for Onana? A couple of good saves at the end there for him, in terms of his confidence after the start.
Of course, it's always when you clean sheet will always give a keeper confidence, and especially when you contribute, when you have some great save, like on Saturday when he had that header, was a very important save there. And now, in the end, he had two fantastic saves. So that will help, and that will building his confidence. But he has personality. He deals with situations with pressure. He can do that, and I think he's starting to do that now.
Samuel.
Mason Mount playing very well. I know you said it was precaution, him coming off. Is that the benchmark for him now to play at that level and be that creative in games?
But he played very well. But I'm sure when he's totally integrated, he will play much better. And he's just starting at United.
He's just starting at United. Mason Mount, number one Mason Mount fan right here, sir. I love it. I love Mason Mount. I just got the Mason Mount haircut. I went to a barber in the United States. They didn't quite know what that was, so they just gave me an okay haircut. But there's always a next match.
What are you trying to say? You don't like Mason
Mount?
Mount?
Mason Mount Friar Tuck. I said, give me the Mason Mount. They didn't know what that was, and I said, give me the Friar Tuck. I think is what I was going for.
They've got great haircuts in England. You know, John and I, whenever
Some
we
might
go,
say the best.
They're up there. Whenever we go, I don't know any place better. Whenever we go, we get a haircut the first day we land. You know, plan our haircuts in advance to not get it cut too soon before we head to England.
That's a whole other pod, but haircuts in the United States, totally bad. Overpriced and bad.
They are bad.
You get 40 quid, you get like the best haircut you ever got in the UK. And it's like, unfortunately, sir, podcast isn't doing well where we can fly out the private jet to London and get a haircut every 2 months. But if you support us on Patreon, one day
10,000 more,
a billion
Patreon
more
members.
Patreon supporters will be getting better haircuts. Aside from that, we got a next match. Manchester United, Crystal Palace, Old Trafford, Saturday, September 30th, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Games 1 versus Crystal Palace, 41, drawn 13, lost 10, so our last 5. won 3, lost 1, drawn 1, and we just beat them. But we beat the B team. It wasn't their A players. They played very poorly. We dominated the ball. I'd be surprised if we dominated them as easily as it was today. Obviously, coming into this game, we reviewed their record and we just smashed them. Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson, South London's number 1, sir. They have a claim. The most interesting part about Crystal Palace, they do have a shout. They're not continuously
It's a shout.
the oldest
It's
club.
only a shout. It's
But they
preposterous.
play the Crystal Palace venue was one of the oldest venues for English football, and they aren't the continuously playing oldest club in the world, but they have a shout at it, sir. It's like
They have like 30 missing years. I did some
Yes,
research.
I know.
They're like missing
but
30
everyone
years.
has a shout at something, and that's the way it is.
I'm not going to hate on Palace. They've never won anything, so they could have a shout at that.
But their big rival is with Brighton, Hove, and Albion. The enemy of the enemy is my friend at the end of the day. Crystal Palace, we're probably going to see some bigger names from them out here. And obviously, Dean Henderson going down. That wasn't great to see, but he has trolled United. Goes down early at Old Trafford. Maybe it's football and guts, sir.
Maybe, I don't think we had to score on him, right? We scored on his replacement. So
Yes.
he got something there. He got to get a new deal. He moved on to greener pastures. Good for him. Place where he could start, even though he's not starting. And you know what? Whatever. Dino, I don't miss him. I don't miss the drama.
I forgot what you
Honestly,
sold
I
him to
don't
Crystal
like.
Palace
There are
on.
so few memories of Dean Henderson.
I was like, I thought he went to Nottingham Forest, but it's all good.
At some point, he did.
We're not too worried about Crystal Palace. We're worried about Manchester United. Again, It's a team where we got to focus on what we can do to beat them. Injuries, talking about that. Shaw out. Malacia out. Mainu out. Harry Maguire's back. Martinez, he's iffy. Might see him at the weekend. His foot is an issue. Obviously, Mason Mount is back. We know Jadon Sancho's in timeout. Anthony as well. And Ahmad out.
And AWB at the top.
And AWB as well. So a lot of players, but we're just seeing a few come back and we're like breath of fresh air really for this team. So, sir, given those injuries, what is your starting 11 for this match?
This is tough because he's got options. He's got a lot of options in midfield now. So not in that. Who else? It's going to be Dalot, Varane, Lindelof, Reguilon. I think he's going to get back to classics. I'm going to do Casemiro, Eriksson, Bruno, Rashford on the left, Højlund up front, Mount on the right. Extra workman. What do you got?
Mount on the right. What you smoking, man? Onana in net. I'm going to go Dalot, Varane. I'm going to say Martinez makes it back. Reguilon. He's going to go Casemiro, Amrabat, Mason Mount, Bruno on the right, Rashford on the left, and Højlund up top.
I don't hate it.
sir.
I don't hate it.
I think that's what he's going to do. You got to start getting these. Amrabat's a dog. Get him in
is.
there. Mason Mount look great. Keep playing him.
Yep.
Even if it's 445. Sir, we have the odds booking the bookies.
Here comes the money, 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 money.
Dollar.
The odds. United continue to be the favorites, -175. The draw, +330. And 5 times your money for Palace away, +470. Sir, given those are the odds, what is your score prediction?
Ooh, this one's tough. I wish I could divert to you, but I'm going to say 1-1. I think they steal it with a free kick at the death like last season.
That was rough. At Selhurst Park, I remember that too well. I think 3-1. I think United gets a victory. We start off a little shaky, concede early, and then we battle back with that workman midfield. We'll see. I could use another 3-0 drumming, though. That was fun. Here we go. Some news.
United in the news. All right, we got some good news here. Some big news breaking late today. Sir Jim Ratcliffe restructures bid to buy Manchester United, coming from Bloomberg. Top tier journos reporting on this one. This means it's coming from Ratcliffe himself,
Yep.
which means at the end of the day, this is real. Ratcliffe going back to the drawing board. Who knows what the Rain Group is telling him? If she says no to you
6 times?
6 times,
That's like stalker level. I think at that point, you got to pack it up and
Yeah,
find
desperate.
a new dolly.
but it doesn't matter how this gets done. If it gets done, we get the Glazers out of control of Manchester United is what we need.
That's right.
And everything, and what's interesting about this one is the Qatar huffing and puffing and blowing my house down kind of quieted down.
It has.
And the fact that he's going back and the fact it's been so long would tell me, if I'm reading the tea leaves, that this more structured offer, like conceding to the Glazers on how they want this transaction. Because if the Ratcliffe transaction is going to be much more 51% control over time.
What do you think the sticking point is, sir, at this point? You think it's like the earn-out component, like how they kind of get themselves to the $10 billion valuation? Or, what do you think they're
can't
fighting
even
over?
get there because if you take into account the way the shares are structured, it basically would allow any lawyer to come up with infinite possibilities and to solve this problem, where the Glazers shares convert over time so that Ratcliffe gets control in like 2027, or he gets control when the deal's done, or they keep the New York Stock Exchange float, or they don't keep the New York Stock Exchange float, or they merge them all into one class. There's like a million things. Like the way that the company's structured and where this could go, there's a million. It's basically whatever you want. And they have really smart lawyers. I am not one. And it's pretty much whatever the Glazers want at the end of the day, because I don't know if it's necessarily, it could be a price thing, but it's probably a Glazers will sell under these like 19 stipulations at this great price with every stipulation met, basically.
Lots
and
of
then
upside.
Ratcliffe can wrestle control over time or something, like something very, convoluted and, just will take a lot of time to figure out. But at the end of the day, like, this is hope. This is hope because he's going for control. I don't think he'd be interested in anything less than control, right? I think the optics of it have to be, right? If you're actually in that room, it would be like, hey, we want to market it as I'm the new owner and you're taking a back seat. That's how it's all going to be, like smoke and mirrors, right? Because that will help with the fan base, help with commercials, help with sponsors, everything. So it really has to be this coming of the new owner, anointing him at Old Trafford, and that's how it should be sold. But the devil's in the details. But he's going again and coming from reputable sources, breaking late today. This is good news. Like I said, a deal's not done till it's done. Deal's not dead till it's dead. And we're in the middle of the haggling, and it's been going on for a long time. So let's hope Ratcliffe can get this over the line. Let's hope someone can get the Glazers out of this club, because at the end of the day, that's all we're looking for. Get the Glazers out, get competent front office in.
That's right. And, you'd be hard-pressed to find less competent owners than the Glazers. I think you could find, like, a bum on the street, and you probably do a better job.
From a commercial perspective.
Yes, they hoard out this brand better than many, but even then, I think that,
Yeah,
at
but
what
if you
expense,
value,
at
like,
what cost?
they don't care about the product.
But the whole thing would be worth more if they'd run the club well, but that's not the point. The point
Owners
is,
don't care about fans. It's just like, it's universal.
I'm talking about
It's
the
not
value
like
of the asset today would be worth more if they didn't piss the money down the drain over the last 10 years and give
They sell
Ed
it for
Woodward
$7
that.
billion, and it's
Trust me, they put $200 million in 20 years ago. They're going to have a great return. They're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. The thing that gives me hope is obviously, like you said, deal ain't dead till it's dead. And Jim Ratcliffe is like your classic billionaire tycoon not taking no for an answer, which we want because we want the Glazers out. I'm sure plenty of people I know people have issues with Ratcliffe versus Qatar, whatever. But there's no way Ratcliffe could be worse than the Glazers based on what they've done over the last 20 years. And I like the fact that, like, he hasn't given up yet. He's trying in
you just
every
jinx him?
possible way. I'm just trying to be
Did you
hopeful.
just jinx
I
him?
didn't jinx shit, bro. I
You just
can't.
said
I wish
there's
I had
no
that much
way-
power.
You like putting out these statements in the universe. Like,
Could
there's
he be
no
worse?
way he could be worse.
He could be worse. And if
could
he's
be
worse, then we're
Like,
fucked.
You said there's no way, but there is a way.
I mean, how could he be worse? Like, literally, how could he be worse? Give me an example.
I mean, he could hire guys that are bad and do worse than Richard Arnold and what's his name?
How you mean like sign Sancho?
No,
or
but like, I'm not going to
Pogba
say
or
there's no way
Alexis
because
Sanchez?
then, like, you're just jinxing the dude before he buys a club.
I mean,
It's
they've
just like,
taken
just be
out $1
careful with
billion.
putting this out there.
They hired a CEO who had no qualifications running a football
I'm
club.
Just,
they
sort of
they
just
hacked
like
and-
whenever you say something like that, you curse in the club.
I mean, I have 20 years of doom and gloom headed my way. I'm just assuming on this club because that's how football works. Football works in beautiful cycles. You saw it with the Scousers and then us and then back to the Scousers and we're kind of due for a drought. So I'm bought in. So
We're from New Jersey. We're
I'm gonna be like
superstitious.
55 by the time we win another title, and I'm okay with it.
We're superstitious. We're from New Jersey, so that's what we are. The New
You're
Jersey
suspicious.
Devil. Everyone's heard of that lore. It's like there's a devil that's gonna get you. They tell the kids that, and you grow up in New Jersey. There's a devil in the woods. He's gonna
Pine
come get you.
Barrens.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's what you should be talking about the kids.
I
swear to God, like,
they
there's a
don't tell
devil
them
out
that in
here?
Cali, bro. They don't be like, hey, there's a devil, and if you don't do your chores, he's gonna eat you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a Jersey thing.
Exactly. Either way, we're superstitious by nature and don't want to curse the new owner for you buys the club.
He hasn't
But
even bought the club.
We're hopeful. We're hopeful. We'll keep you posted here. Let's hope Ratcliffe can get over the line. Getting into the Muppetry, really. Sancho is like this is Schoolhouse Rock. He's getting banned.
He stayed up till 3 a.m. playing video games, by the way, which shout out to the gamers.
Man, I wish where did Jadon Sancho get all this spite?
He won't say sorry.
He's the most
just say
privileged,
sorry, bro, and you can come back.
He's the most privileged rich kid, and it's just dude, you're great at the game. We all love you. We want you to come back.
We're all rooting for you.
Just take the L.
Say sorry. You don't have to mean it. Someone said that. You don't even have to mean it. Just say you're sorry and then get back to fucking practice. You won't take an L?
The whole thing about this Sancho thing is that the real fumble is from Manchester United because you should be foisting Sancho out.
Yep.
It should all be dealt with in-house. Yep. You should be playing him in the EFL Cup, and then you should be selling him to Chelsea for $60 million. Now he's worth 30. So this whole going public with the thing just hurts the club. That being said, it's public. He's banned from all the first team facilities. He has to eat with the academy, which I'm sure he doesn't mind. And he's literally playing FIFA till 3 a.m, which is absolutely hysterical. This guy gives zero fucks.
Which you gotta respect. You gotta respect because he cares so little.
The club's you owe me, honestly, if someone owes you $60 million, sir, it's
And only in sex masochism. Then it is allowed.
You're you owe me $60 million if I literally don't do anything and play FIFA. So it's why would I want to play?
They've got no
unless you're
out.
not-
They've got
There is a
nothing.
little bit, if you could get in the mind of Jadon Sancho, he's thinking you owe me 60 mil no matter what.
No matter what.
So you got to be nice to me if you want me to play. That's his thought, right? And so the idea of that delusion is true because we do owe him that amount of money. So I'm not defending it. I'm just saying if you got into the mind of Jadon Sancho, he's I'll eat my crisps and play FIFA and get paid the same amount of money. So why would I do anything? And that's poorly run club.
I don't want to impugn the individual because that's not helpful at this point. But it speaks.
No, but
to,
there's no value.
He's not worried about the next contract because I guess if you make $60 million when you're 23, you're pretty good.
He's made more than that for the record.
No, I'm saying $60 million over the
gonna
next
be
3 years.
$100
Yeah,
million.
he's going to get $100 million between the ages of 21 and 26 or 27 or whatever. And he also is not worried about his football legacy at all, clearly, because look at the fall off he had when he joined United in the first place. And this is a shame because the foist is right, but now everybody knows that dude, we ain't $30 million. Nobody's fucking buying this player, bro. It's going to be.
Didn't he tweet play me on FIFA and I think he was tweeting.
He was
random
playing. He was playing FIFA during the Burnley game, sir.
I know.
He wasn't even watching the game. He's like, fuck it.
He's probably not even playing. It's his buddy he pays to play. He's just
he's playing.
it's just
His buddy,
but you know what I'm saying? He's got an entourage. He's not Jadon Sancho's not boo hoo by himself at 3 a.m. He's hanging out with his buddies, probably hanging out having fun. So they're coming up with all these great ideas for him to do all this dumb shit. But regardless, Jadon Sancho watch, keep you posted. If anyone plays him on FIFA, let us know.
Let us know.
And then you're trolling me here with this Phil Jones
Come on,
hanging
bro.
around.
It's still our club. It's still the same club that's Darren Fletcher's technical director. I just thought this. Phil Jones makes shock return to Man United as he announces his next career move. He's a coach on the U18s. And this is just United can't say no to people. It's Evans, that's working out thus far. Darren Fletcher put his name all over that as soon as it went well, right? He's had a good game. He's that was my idea. And it's just more players that should have moved on years ago being brought back in the fold because they can't get a job elsewhere.
Yeah, and they're I think Roy Keane, a little bit of a jobs for the boys. I remember he said that about the club. He's a little bit of a job for the boys.
That's what this is.
Keep people around, and I don't
Say
know
good things, right?
He could know some stuff about Ed Woodward. Something happened.
Jones
with
is
those two. I
boys
have
with Ed
no
Woodward,
idea. I know.
apparently, from what we've heard throughout Manchester. Through the
But I'm not
grapevine.
going to kick Phil Jones. Honestly, if someone wants to coach the U18s, go ahead. It's not like a.
He's going to be the next manager.
It's not like Darren Fletcher, technical director, is definitely worse than this one. But Phil Jones didn't hate the guy.
And it's U18, it's coaching. They just got battered today in the U18, so it's like, I agree. I'm just saying, we have jobs for the boys.
Don't like Phil Jones. I get it. You don't like Phil Jones. You don't like David De Gea. Ran him out of town.
Yeah, that was my doing.
Love that guy. Great. You're a great keeper, De Gea. Just remember that one.
Love that beard. Bring him back. You know what? That's a player, top of his game. He should be a U23 goalkeeping coach.
All right, jumping to the fan questions at JDW300. Comprehensive. That's it. Palace showed nothing. Amrabat is going to be absolute menace with this midfield play. Very excited for him. Hopefully Mount was taken off as a caution, not a reason. Nice to see Martial Garnacho on the board. Round 2 Saturday. Let's go. At Randy Scrandy L, quote, chances we drop points to these fellas Saturday. Agendas will run high against Rashford if we can't play and he returns. That's an interesting question because we played well without Rashford and Bruno. And what is there something about that? I don't know. I'm not going to make a meal of it. I'm going to let the United Trolls make a meal of it on Saturday. But we should see a good performance from United, right? I think ultimately when you have a team that's struggling and you get a win that you might not have, that was kind of win ugly, and then you have a good performance, you got to build. You're putting bricks in the wall in the season, and you got to keep building, and that's what we want to see. At GolfPro_X2, very interested to see how Ten Hag is going to get Casemiro, Mount, Amrabat, and Bruno all involved. This is to the question that we were asking. The team overall today controlled the game from minute 1 all the way to the full 90. It was fun to watch, and playing Palace again at the weekend, I'm expecting a similar result.
Hope so.
That is really the question. How are you going to get all these players involved?
And that's what we were talking about for the first, back 4 is like a cobbled together mess because we don't have that many options. Front 3, to a certain extent, the only players that are dialed in are Højlund up front and Rashford on the left. And it's the midfield now where you have all those 4 players.
Dialed in with that Garnacho? 90?
I think so.
Garnacho
He just played.
had people they were falling over. He was he looks like he could be.
Then play him on the right. Play Garnacho on the right.
No, but it's
Rashford on the left. I think
it's
Rashford
not like Rashford's no good. It's like you pick form, right? Rashford seems to be out of form.
We have so many matches, and you just played this kid for 90 minutes against a Premier League side. We're playing 3 days later. Give Rashford a go. And if he plays like shit, you have options now because you played these players, and this is where the manager needs to be on his front toes around tactics and around changes. The games where we played really badly and we lost, he made changes that were either wrong or too late or both. And if we do come off with a slow start, he tries a midfield, it doesn't work, he's got to be willing to change it and change it early, because if you don't give yourself enough time to affect change, then you can't throw somebody in the last 10 minutes and expect them to get a goal. And that's what he's been doing. So I'm hopeful, but it's going to take a little tinkering because we had some good form today. We played well. We got a result. We got a clean sheet. We scored some good goals. And we got to build on, like you said, but he doesn't know where the best position is for Amrabat, Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, Eriksen. Now we got Hannibal. He's a player. Kobe's going to come in. It's you have options. Is it too many options?
I think that's a great point you just made. Is that we didn't have to really make that many adjustments. The manager got it right from minute 1. It's going to be interesting to see. We haven't been able to make the adjustment when it doesn't go right out the gate. So let's see how that goes, because now we have options. And making those calls in those big games is going to be important for this manager. At D_Cole18, Erik ten Hag was cooking up something at that barbecue. All his signings are dogs. Give him more. I've been bullish on Mason Mount, but he was class.
Say it like that.
Amrabat and Cass look like they'll get the base of the midfield sorted. Rashi and Bruno needed the rest. Garnacho and Pellistri look like they're hungry for games. That's all we want. People wearing the shirt, coming on and giving it all. We have not seen that this season to date. We saw it today. Found the hungry dogs. Feed them. At Miller KDJ, Amrabat classes up the joint. Good seeing the players coming back, especially Varane and Mount looking good. Is there any question around Varane and Mount coming back, and then all of a sudden the team sparks?
Do we missed that work rate from Mount? I mean, Varane's work, when he plays and he's available and he's not injured, he's our best center back. And he's one of the best center backs in the league, one of the best center backs in the world. He's classy. He's calm on the ball. He's physically imposing. He's good in the air. And Mount, he started off rough, but we needed some high work rate players because we haven't had that. And he's looked fresh. So this is good. And also, as a shout out on the contra to look how well we played without Rashford and Bruno, as some people in the, in the world are saying. They've been playing 6 weeks straight without a blow because we've had no one else to play. So maybe with them getting a rest, they'll play a little better on the weekend. Options. It's like we're the first time we have options. It's crazy. He might play Amrabat at left back because, I don't know, Delo needs a blow and he plays Reguilón on the right, or he plays Amrabat on the right. Who knows? But this manager likes to tinker. You don't want to over-tinker.
We're going to finish on this one at MMayball13. 10 out of 10, sirs. No criticism today. Comfortable win, sharp, confident passing throughout the match. Good starting lineup, good subs. We're able to rest Rashford and Bruno. Fun to watch. Hashtag glory, glory, Man United. Look, that is it. That is the podcast. If you like the America Red Devils, we are for fans, by fans. Support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/America Red Devils. Also, check out our store, AmericaDevils.store. New Eric Ten Hag Red Army scarves in stock. Code EFL Cup for $5 off. Get your scarves. Support this podcast. Let's go. The season's just begun. Doom and gloom. Is it gone? Is it parting? I don't know, sir. It's going to be a big game. I'm cautiously optimistic. It's just like one of those where you're like, you get hype after one game and like clapback city. You're like, I don't know. I've seen it in this movie before. But, sir, give us our top 10 downloads the last 7 days.
Palace are tricky. You don't know which Palace are going to show up. All of a sudden, they'll look like, a proper team. Top 10 cities last 7 days. Number 1, how you doing? Chicago, Illinois. Dublin, Ireland. Appreciate you. Climb up that board. New York. Los Angeles, California. Brooklyn, New York. Dallas, Texas. Houston, Texas. Washington, D.C. Denver, Colorado. And last but not least, San Francisco, California. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Let's go, lads. Big game on the weekend. Let's batter Palace. We know who they are. They're going to come out fighting. It's going to be a totally different match, but team's got options. We've got players coming back. We've got players hitting form. Let's go. Lots to look forward to.
We're going to finish on 20 times. Yes, sir. It's been a long time, but we've won it. 20 times.
Let's go!